Central Bank of Nigeria sold 4.1 trillion Naira worth of its newly introduced 90-day special bills in the money market. Adamma Mbachu, the team lead for currency trading at Access Bank, joins me to discuss what this would mean for the markets going forward. Thank you so much for your time today, Adamma. And let's look at that special bills and the implications we're going to see in the market in the near term.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me. Yes, like you said, the Central Bank of Nigeria has just injected a sum of 4.1 trillion into the market as special bill. Prior to this, there were discussions around this as the CBN intended to inject this special bill in this market to create some form of liquidity in the market, where the local banks, the money market, the banks can have enough legroom to lend to small and medium-scale industries to boost economic activities in the country. So just yesterday, these bills were injected, and prior to this, there was some sort of reactions in the market as the traders were being cautious in their trading, as they are wondering at what rate and manner in which the bills will be issued at. So it caused some sort of a sort of panic in the market, and brought about a lot of cautious trading in the activities in the market. However, when the bill came at 5%, 4.1 trillion, we have seen some little reactions as the players are trying to understand how the impact will be felt in the market. So we're still expecting more reactions as the bills were just issued yesterday.
All right, but what are your expectations for liquidity in the near term, and what's playing out for you?
So in terms of liquidity, the market is pretty much liquid. This week, the market liquidity opened the week at about 217 billion, and we had the overnight and OBB trading at 1.67 and 1.42. However, during the week, we saw another boost of liquidity of about 280 billion of OMO maturity, which actually caused a drop in the yield to 1% and 1.44% for OBB and overnight, respectively. And the market so far has been very liquid, and we expect the rate to remain at this level.
All right, I understand that we had about 280 million of OMO maturities coming to the system, though, and for that boosted liquidity. But looking at with the special bills coming on board, how is this going to play with the regular OMO auctions in the market?
Yes, fine. Like I said, we have the players actually looking at it and trying to, have reactions. They have reactions over the special bill coming. In terms of, we have not seen anything yet in terms of the rates. Rates are pretty stable at the 1% and 1.44, like we have them, given that there has been liquidity in the system. And prior to that, although there have been auctions, and there have been an OMO auction that was conducted this week, where about 70 billion was offered. However, what we saw is that the rates actually dropped across all the maturities, especially at the long tenor coming out at 6.15% from 8%. So we expect more reactions, although we have not seen it yet, probably from next week, regarding what the impact of this special bill will play out in the market. So right now, the traders are still being very cautious and still going about their normal trading activities cautiously.
All right, now going into next week, we're expecting the inflation figures to come out next week, and I'd like to get what your expectations are and how you are pricing that into your sentiments going forward.
From what I've seen, well, I expect a hike in the inflation figures, a bit of hike, although we have seen a lot happening on the CBN at the foreign exchange space, where the CBN has been intervening a lot in that market and selling to the I and E windows. So far, we have seen CBN sell to both local and foreign portfolio investors. And then we have seen the impact on the exchange rate, especially at the power market, where we have seen the rate drop from as high as 500 down to 460 level. And given that this actually plays out in the prices of goods and services, we may not feel the reaction at the inflation figures, given that the price of goods have been sitting up with other economic factors. But however, we feel that in the medium term, we might see a bit of respite on inflation figures. But however, for these inflation figures, I expect it to come out a bit higher.
All right, but what's your outlook for the Naira then?
Well, we see the Naira, there has been a bit of respite, like I said, for at the foreign exchange market. We have seen continuous support from the CBN in terms of all their interventions and in terms of what they have been doing on the I&E space. So far this week, we recorded an injection of about 403 million from the CBN for both the local and the international investors. So for exchange rate, we expect the exchange rate on the official space to remain at 395 levels, to be stable around that. And then we still see the share market rate still at 381.